In this video, we're going to be talking about how to market your business on social media. Now, what most people are doing on social media, they're being very active in posting and they're calling that social media marketing. But are they actually marketing? By the end of this video, you'll understand the difference between what they're doing and marketing, and you'll learn that they're not marketing at all. You'll also understand what options you do have to market, and to market means getting in front of people who've never heard of you before. We're going to be talking about how YouTube has some major advantages compared to other platforms, and we're going to clear up some misconceptions about YouTube because people are using it wrong. So let's dive right in. So right from the start, let's compare a lot of different platforms, and let's just address the fact that posting is not marketing. It's typically nurturing. Okay, so if you have somebody that's a friend of yours on Facebook, or they're a subscriber to your email list, or a subscriber to you on YouTube or your podcast, if you post a video and it's your subscribers or your friends who see that post, then you're nurturing them, right? So you're staying top of mind. Nurturing is very important. And for a lot of strategies, it's the focus. Like for Mr. Beast, the most successful YouTube channel there is, 350 million subscribers. When he puts out a video, he's nurturing those 350 million people, okay? So nurturing is great, but we just can't call it marketing. Marketing is putting your content in front of somebody brand new. They've never heard of you before. They're not on your email list, right? So there are two ways that you can really market. One is through paid ads. So you can pay ads and have those ads shown in front of new people, okay? The other way is to put content in front of people who are searching for it. So they obviously don't know your name. They're not typing in your name, but they're asking a really specific question that you have a perfect answer for. So when they type in that question, there's a way of having those people find you, to find your content or find your video on YouTube. So let's break it down platform by platform. If we start with Facebook, how do you market and how do you nurture? Well, Facebook is built really around friends. It's a real good social network. And so when you just post something, the only way that it's going to go beyond your friends is if your friends share it with others. And that's something that you can't control. Typically, the posts that do go viral are those that are not going to generate leads for you, and they're going to grow your following in ways that don't relate to your business. Now, I am not an ads expert. In fact, over my 15 years of business, I've hardly done any paid advertising. But of all the colleagues and friends that I have, those that do paid advertising, majority of them have done it on Facebook. Facebook must be the best place to do paid ads, right? There are YouTube ads, there's LinkedIn ads, but I've heard difficulties with both. I've heard plenty of difficulties with Facebook, but that seems to be where the majority of them are and where the majority of their ad spend goes to. Now let's talk about LinkedIn. So LinkedIn does have an ad platform, but I heard it's way more expensive, maybe like quadruple the price point. I'm not saying that from experience, just what I've heard, people that have done both Facebook and LinkedIn. Now there are ways to generate leads on LinkedIn. LinkedIn allows you to search and find the right type of people, or to target them, or to message them. It's pretty limited. If we rewind back about a decade, maybe 12 years ago, I had a reach out campaign where I could message people within groups. So on LinkedIn, you've got your first level connections, those that you have a direct connection with, but somebody who's a second level connection is a connection of a connection. Well, you couldn't message people that were second or third level connections, but if you were a part of a group, then you could message those people. So we were messaging about 100 people per day with compliments and things that would encourage them to want to check out my website, and I ended up getting a lot of people watching my videos, and ended up getting a lot of people scheduling calls with me. Over the years, LinkedIn has really tightened the restrictions on the amount of messages you can send out. So even if you're paying for the LinkedIn Sales Navigator, where you're paying them to be able to access their messaging tools, and right now I can't even think of the number. It's either like 50 or definitely no more than 150, but probably somewhere in the middle. You can only message that limited number of people per month. The other thing that I've noticed is there are a lot more businesses that are doing that. When I did it a dozen years ago, no one was doing it. I kind of figured out this strategy on my own. But now I get tons of messages, both sponsored messages and just messages through the Sales Navigator that are regular messages, but they're definitely promotional messages. I get hit with them so much that I ignore them. And I think most people are doing the same. Back 12 years ago, I got a 60 to 70% reply rate, which is really, really good. Now to get 1% is pretty difficult. Okay, so what about a podcast? Well, a podcast is a really good platform. It's a way of having people spend a lot of time with you. Most podcasts that I've come across are interview style. So if you are the host and you're interviewing your guest is the one that's positioned as an expert. So it's kind of hard for you to generate leads for yourself. You're going to help them generate leads, each guest that you have on your show. Or if your show is you and you're teaching, the biggest challenge with a podcast is there's no centralized search engine. There's no centralized promotion engine. There's all these different platforms from iTunes, whatever Apple calls it these days, or Spotify or SoundCloud, whatever. Those are just platforms that if people know about your podcast, then they can listen to it there, but there's no way to promote it. There's no way for people to find your podcast. And that's why the big podcasts out there, you ask them how long they've been doing it. They've been doing it 10, 15, 20 years, and people have just gradually found it over time. I haven't met anyone that's been able to launch a podcast and have a good sized following and generate leads from it in like a matter of 6 months or 12 months. That's a very short amount of time in the world of podcasting. Now, what about email? Is email marketing or is email nurturing? Well, anyone that you're sending an email to from your email list, they've subscribed, right? Because you're not one of those marketers who just takes an email and manually adds it there without their permission, right? Like, don't go there. I hate it when people do that with my email. So everyone that is on your email list, they've subscribed to you. So obviously you're not marketing to them when you send out an email. Now, there's emails that are going to be more sales focused or conversion focused. There's other emails that are going to be nurturing. Majority of your emails should be nurturing because these people already know who you are. And as you send out an email, you're continuing that relationship. You're building that relationship and making it easy when they do want to talk with you that they can schedule a call with you. I had TikTok on my list to talk about, but I can't stand TikTok and shorts don't do well for generating leads. So let's just skip TikTok and let's talk about Google. Google used to be the primary place to do ads, where today, in my perspective, it looks like Facebook is, or I guess they call it Meta now, and Meta includes several different things. I don't know, obviously Instagram as well. Obviously, Google makes revenue through visitors getting sponsored links, so that's why a lot of the listings at the top are still sponsored. But with the people that I know and associate with, I don't know anyone who really focuses on Google advertising. If you're talking Google organic and getting your content to rank at the top of Google, it's actually way easier today than it used to be. And so let me talk about that from the perspective of YouTube, because Google owns YouTube and it's YouTube content that is so easy to get ranked at the top of Google. Let me show you an example here. This is a YouTube channel, Noelle Randall. You see she's got about 850,000 subscribers. Let me show you 2 of her videos. So this video right here, 7 secrets your bank does not want you to know in the last 102 days, and that's from 911,000 views. Compare that to this video here, how to become a real estate agent. It's a bridge there. I don't see what the rest of the title is, but how to become a real estate agent something. This is even a longer time frame, 294 days, and with 2,200 views, it's had $69 in revenue. So here's a question for you. Which of these 2 videos made Noelle the most money? Well, it's a trick question because the one that I showed you before made more in ad revenue, but this video here made Noelle way more business revenue. Okay, she generated a lot of leads from this because this video focused on search traffic, while the other video got a lot of suggested traffic from YouTube. So I want you to understand how much easier search traffic is today compared to even just a decade ago. This is what website SEO used to look like. You'd have your website in the middle, and you'd have these secondary websites out there that would all link to your website and give your website authority. But those secondary websites, if they're just junk spam websites that don't really mean anything, no one's ever going to visit them, how do they have authority? Well, you create a whole bunch of other junk outside of that, and you link those to those. And so as the network gets bigger and bigger and bigger, then the site that's in the very middle should have the most authority. It was a crazy amount of work. It was a crazy amount of just junk and garbage filling the internet. That was SEO of the past. SEO today looks like this. You can get the same results by creating a single YouTube video. It's amazing. It really is amazing. Let me give you a specific example. So let's say you're a productivity expert and you wanted to do the old form of SEO in the past. You would focus on keyword that's say 2 words long, like improve productivity, because that was what you did. You help people improve their productivity, versus a really long specific question like how to improve productivity on a construction site. Okay, so in the past, the center of this whole web of mess and spam would be your website about improving productivity, versus today you make a video with that question. how to improve productivity on a construction site. Now, what you find today is a lot of the education you get about YouTube, it takes this old form of SEO and what's working today, but they kind of blend them together. And you hear some things that are outdated that don't actually apply today. And then you'll hear some stuff that does work today, but they explain it in a way that doesn't make any sense. So let me just give you a few rules to look for as you're learning from these other people, or just make sure you subscribe to this channel so you're learning it the right way. Number one is don't focus on short keywords. So keywords back in the day of website SEO would mean 1 word, 2 word, 3 words. Okay, long tail would mean a 4-word phrase or a 5-word phrase. I'm calling all of those short, even 5 words. Long tail today, or what I call a leaf title, because you need to learn my tree analogy. I'll link to another video up here talking about my leaf strategy. What you want to focus on today is like an 8-word phrase or a 9-word or a 10-word keyword phrase. And yes, they exist. There's hundreds of thousands of really specific questions that people are asking that have a lot of words like that. So knowing that, learn how to find those long keywords and don't make videos or don't focus on those short words. Don't use the broken SEO tools out there. And I say broken, they don't appear to be broken. Like there's TubeBuddy, there's vidIQ. Those are meant for YouTube, but they focus on these short 2 or 3-word keyword phrases. And their scoring tools, they'll give you a score of 50% when you have a video ranking #1 on YouTube, or they'll give you a score of 100% when you cross off their checklist, but that video gets no search traffic. And warning number 3 of what not to do is don't focus your efforts on SEO after a video is filmed. It just doesn't work. You can't take an old piece of content, even if it's amazing. Let's say you filmed an amazing video and you put it on, or maybe it's already on YouTube, or you upload it to YouTube, and then you try to SEO by adding keywords or whatever TubeBuddy or vidIQ is going to tell you to do. That will not work. You will not get search traffic. What you need to do is do your SEO before you create the content. So you'll find a question, this 8, 9, or 10-word question that people are searching for that has consistent search volume each month, and you'll create the content around that. So the content exactly matches what people are searching for. It sounds like, yeah, this is just obvious, but no one is doing it this way. Just so you can visually see what I'm talking about with these other tools, if you type in how to discipline a child that lies and steals in the search bar on YouTube, you'll find Nicolene Peck ranked right at the top. If you look down on the screen, you'll see that she's in position 3 and 4 as well. But look at this. vidIQ is giving this video a score of 32 out of 100, and it's saying the competition is very high. But we just posted this 7 days ago, and it's already got over 800 views. If I go into the Creator Studio and I use my TubeBuddy plugin, it says that my SEO score is 50%. Yet, how could I get higher than ranking #1 on YouTube? It's got this list of things that it wants me to include. I know what I'm doing, and I did it intentionally to get this video ranked at #1. And so even the things that you have to check the box here, they're not accurate. They don't work. Here's another example. If you type in how to become a construction project manager, notice you see Jason Schroeder right at the top. And what's cool, in the same filming house where I'm filming today, he's filming in another room. So it's pretty cool. vidIQ gives him a score of 51. If you go into the Creator Studio and you look at vidIQ's optimized score, which is somehow 72 out of 100, so I don't know the difference between the 52 and the 72, it lists all these things like, I guess my title doesn't evoke emotion. Okay, you want a title that evokes emotion? Sure, I would say even more so the thumbnail, but what does that have to do with SEO and getting it to rank in the search engines? So it lists a whole bunch of things here, like your title is easy to understand. Okay, great. Your title isn't too long. Okay, great. But it's as if these are all the requirements of optimizing my video, when if I didn't do the SEO work before I filmed, then no matter how many of these things I could check, it would not help my video to rank. Here's another checklist that TubeBuddy provides. They tell you to add more tags. You know what? The tag field doesn't do anything anymore. YouTube's admitted that. They say, yeah, that field doesn't do anything. Add tags to your title. Yeah, if you're going to do it the TubeBuddy or the vidIQ way and just add a 2 or 3 word phrase in there, your video's not going to rank for that. It's way too competitive. Captions are important. Replying to comments, I mean, that's extremely important. That's not going to help your video rank in the search engines. That's going to help with user engagement and create loyal subscribers. They want you to heart a comment. They want you to add info cards. So these are all tips that are good practices for YouTube, but have nothing to do with your video ranking at the top of search. No one is teaching you how to do that because these tools don't help you get there. If you scroll down, there's a lot more. It talks about the title length, adding chapters, adding to a playlist, getting a like on Facebook. Yeah, don't worry about that piece. So when you hear people talk about optimizing your video or whatever, checking your SEO scores, those things are kind of phony when you look at those tools like TubeBuddy and vidIQ. Let me show you how I do it. So this is for my client Noelle Randall. She teaches real estate investing, and these are a lot of the questions, or what I call leaf titles, that we found, and they're on this specific branch or the specific category, real estate investor become. Now, we typed in each of these unique questions into YouTube to see what is her ranking. And you see this one here, it says yes. That means she's ranking at the top, or the top 3. This one right here, it says starting. That means we did not find Noelle at the top, but we had to scroll down and we found her somewhere in the top 20. So she's starting to get traction on those. And then this one right here, it says no. When we typed in that question, how to become a real estate investor in California, and all these others that say no, means we did not find her in the top 20. Okay, now notice the date at the top here. That was on February 10th, a year ago. So on that date, we had 2 yeses and a few startings, but we started filming episodes on this branch. Now by April 18th, we had turned those 2 yeses into 8 yeses. By May 16th, even more. By July 3rd, even more. Now take a look at the scoring system that I created. This is a system that will actually track your progress and let you know if the work that you're doing is getting you more and more results, higher ranking, and you should also be seeing a higher and higher lead generation. So I gave a yes a score of 1, and I gave a starting a score of 0.25. So on February 10th, you see that the score is 3. But that increased because we had more yeses by April. So we had a score of 8.5, then a score of 13, then a score of 15.75. A scoring system like this is actually helpful. So when you come to YouTube and you type in questions like this and have your videos rank at the very top, this is what YouTube domination looks like. It's both the spreadsheet of seeing all those no's turn into yeses. Those yeses look like this. This is what that looks like. Now that you know how powerful this strategy is, I want you to learn it inside and out. And I've created another video. I'll link to it right here. It's called the YouTube SEO Secret Strategy. Go watch that video next.